Happy Throwback Thursday. This is my 1992 Geo Tracker. The other day, I learned a new term besides my automotive hobby. I'm into retro gaming. So I was listening to retro gaming soundtracks and reading the comments on YouTube. And a comment I was seeing a lot was people were commenting right in the feels. So I think that's a new term for nostalgia hit. And certain people that see this thing, it hits them right in the feels. Shout out to Jim Marshall. He wants a tracker someday, and I'm rooting for you, man. These things are great. I have a great story for you. Really clean interior for being a 1992. Since I work a manual labor job, I like to put seat covers on this. I'll do a review of these seat covers. I ordered some more because I really like these. Good temporary seat cover. The seats on these are nice for being a 31-year-old vehicle. I have a good right in the feels story for you guys. So last Friday, me and my friend Jonathan were getting off of work, and we see our friend Elizabeth in the parking lot. She works in the office, classiest lady I've ever met. And we start chit-chatting with her. She told us she's taking her last break. And she told me, "Hey, I saw your car. It's really nice." And I said, "Which one?" And Jonathan laughed and said, "This guy has 4 cars." And she said, "Oh, the black one. That's my Z06. And I told her, "You want to see my other car? You're going to laugh." So she said, "Yeah," because she has an idea that I'm really into cars. She always sees that I'm picking up as many hours as I can for my hobbies. So I told her, "I'll give you a ride back." I park all the way in the corner, like a mile away from the door. So I told her, "I'll give you a ride back so you don't have to walk." So we're walking, and then she doesn't see it. My car's like hidden behind Jonathan's car, and I'm like, man, I hope someone didn't take it, because there's a truck that's been going in the parking lot of our job lately that's been towing cars away. So I'm like, oh man, I hope no one took it, but it was just hiding behind my friend's car. So she sees it, and it hit her right in the feels. She said, "Oh my gosh, I love it. It's the Barbie car." And that's a funny term because these were known as the Barbie Jeep. So yeah, she totally geeks out on this thing when she saw it. And she told me, "If you ever sell this, sell it to me first." And I told her, "If I win the lottery, I'm gonna give this to you." And she said, "I'm gonna paint it pink." So I'm giving her a ride back to the front, you know, so because she's on her last break, and the whole time she's like smiling and, you know, inspecting the vehicle. Let me open the other door. So yeah, the whole time I'm giving her a ride back to the front, she's like smiling and just like looking at everything. She said, "This is so clean. It's really nice." So that made my day. It's funny because I have my monster van, and sometimes I take this, like the next day I'll bring my van to work, and then the next day I'll bring this thing. I think it's funny when people see me in this and they're like, "You have that really big van and that little thing?" And I'm like, yeah, I just like different cars, man. So there it is, 1992 Geo Tracker, Jim Marshall. I'm rooting for you, man. These are great. It's funny because in my youth I wanted a Corvette so bad, and I overlooked these things when I was younger. I started really getting interested in these about 10 years ago. 10 years ago is when I started going out to the desert, and my friend, she had a Samurai, which is the older version of this, and I just remember it being so good off-road that I wanted one. So I was dreaming about getting one of these for like 10 years, and now I finally have one. The last task, and life happens, man. Like, there's always something in the way, but I'm gonna achieve it by 2024. That's my goal. But my goal is to tow this behind my van and sleep in my van out in the desert and wake up to some off-roading. Sleep in my van and off-road in this. I have the proper receivers. This is for the tow bar right here. These pins. So yeah, that's my task right now, to get this ready to tow. I've been wanting to do this for like the last 10 years. A beast, even among other overlanding vehicles. Like I said, in my teen years, I was more into performance cars. I wanted a Corvette so bad. Didn't pay any attention to these when they were still in production. They were in production from 88 to 2002, I believe. But now having one, this is one of my favorite vehicles that I ever owned. I love how interactive it is. Manual transmission, 4x4 shifter. So it's in two-wheel drive high right now. Click this up. There's the four-wheel drive right there. Click it down. Goes away, back in two-wheel drive. And then there's more interactiveness to it. I like how you have to do things. It's fun. So it has manual locking hubs. See how it says free right there? To make it four-wheel drive, you have to turn this into lock and then shift it into four-wheel drive. Driving this off-road is every bit as fun as driving my Corvette 150 miles per hour. And the difference is, when I go off-roading, I'm not gonna get in trouble. When I'm driving my Corvette, I'm always looking behind my back, not wanting to get in trouble. So this car is a better influence on me than my Corvette is. My Corvette, my other personality comes out. In this thing, I'm just cruising on the freeway, slow, looking forward to my next off-road spot. So there it is, 1992 Geo Tracker. Shout out to Jim Marshall and my friend Elizabeth. If I win the lottery, I'll give this to you. And I'll give you the funds to paint it pink. You said you want to paint it pink, right? Elizabeth told me all her siblings are into Wranglers, Jeeps, and she likes these. And that's exactly what this thing is. Similar driving experience to a Jeep Wrangler on a smaller scale. So it's something different. Jeep Wranglers are cool, but sometimes people want to do things a little different. It's time to bring back the Geo Tracker. Perfect brochure picture right here. Ran out of road. I think I hit 150. Casually busting out 150 on a Sunday drive. I have all these lottery tickets to check. I could be a millionaire right now, and I've been going into work this whole time. This thing is a lot of fun, and I love how unique it is in 2023. You don't see many around. That being said though, in 2023, there are much more comfortable vehicles to drive than this. Much more comfortable ways to get around. Not as fun, and in terms of cool factor, this is up there in cool factor. But you know what my favorite conversation is? When I run into people who really enjoy seeing this, who really geek out on this. People ask me all the time, are you selling that? And people who ask me that tend to be in their 50s and older, and this was their first car. A lot of people tell me this was their first car. They own something much nicer now, much more comfortable now. But that being said, people tell me all the time this is the favorite thing, it's the most favorite vehicle they ever own, and they miss it a lot. And that's the nostalgia, that's the feels right there when you see something and it just hits you, and a more simpler time in your life comes back. So that's what this thing is for a lot of people. For me, it's just the car guy in me seeing how good these little Suzukis are off-road and just really appreciating them later in life. This wasn't my dream car when I was younger, didn't pay attention to them when I was younger, but now being older, being into off-roading and camping, I just appreciate what they are. Small but mighty. I love how purpose-built this thing is. It has a recovery hook up front, skid plate to protect it from off-roading. It has another recovery hook right here and a skid plate for the fuel tank. And then when you look at the dimensions, it's a tiny vehicle. Excellent approach, departure, and breakover angle. It's perfect for off-roading. Just a great piece of machinery. And that's me. This wasn't my dream car when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I appreciate what this thing is. Happy Saturday. Working on my day off. I want a Geo Tracker really bad. So I thought I was going to go in and work 4 to 10 today, about a 6-hour shift. I ended up working a little more than 9 hours. I thought I was going to get out at 10. It's 1:45 right now. You know how I stay encouraged? You know what I'm doing right now? I'm checking out my tracker. I really hope this thing is around in 4 to 5 months. I really want this one.